Hello and welcome to my Legacy review of the Citadel Combat Cards. This is one of many random fun videos I would like to release on this channel to mix it up from the usual unboxing or reviews or Imperium or even live streams. I've been in this hobby for almost 30 years now. And with all of those decades, and despite being called young man by the older generation and old man by the much younger generation, I feel like throughout these decades I've accumulated various items through the hobby, and this is one such item or items that I would like to share with you today. Now, these Citadel Combat Cards, not to be confused with the recently released Warhammer 40,000 Combat cards that came out a year or two ago. These were first released in 1992. I know there's probably a few of you watching that were born in the 2000s, a good deal of time after these cards were released. I have 4 packs. There were 6. I've never owned 6. I didn't even know that there were 6 until I investigated further into this little card collection. These miniatures on these cards are absolutely fantastic, and I'm so overjoyed to be able to share them with you. The first card pack I have is Space War. Clearly that's a Mark 6 Space Marine, right? Then we've got Chaos. Clearly some kind of Khorne creature, berserker, I don't know. We've also got Goblinoids, so not goblins, but Goblinoids. Doctor, I've got a rare case of Goblinoids. Then we've got one of my favourites, probably is my favourites, is Monsters. Wow. So, we're going to look at these 4 in this very interesting video that I decided to upload. And I have many other videos that I could release of part of this hobby from the 90s. But the other 2 packs of cards that I never got my hands on were Dwarves and Warriors. Yeah, I don't know why, but looking back at this collection now, I appreciate them so much more. Let's start off with Space War. So I'll just be opening these up and going through them all. This is shot in lovely 4K for your viewing pleasure. I'm going to try and make sure there's not too much reflection going on with my brand new lamp that I recently purchased. So I'm not really sure how many cards you get in a pack. They have a rating of 4.5 for whatever that means. They remind me very much of Top Trumps or Super Top Trumps, if you ever have heard of that before. And what it was before all of this digital technology stuff that I embrace and I absolutely love, we had to go out and, you know, make friends and in person, not digital friends, virtual friends, Facebook friends, anything like that. We actually had to go out and meet people, which is great for your social skills. And one such way that kind of help with the interaction, I guess, were little games, and Top Trumps was one such game. It's a card game whereby you kind of shuffle the cards. I can't believe I'm giving a tutorial on this. It's the easiest thing ever, but you shuffle the cards and you take a certain number, maybe 10 cards each or so, and then you would have a pack and the other person would have a pack. I mean, I could teach you how to play Gwent if I so wished. Yes, decide who would go first, I think, and then one of you would call out a attribute. So this particular chap, he's got quite a high weapon skill. So say if I'm playing, I'd say weapon skill 10, and then the other person, it's all about trust. We trusted each other a lot more back then. But your opponent would then tell you their weapon skill, and they could make it up, of course. Bit of a cynical way of looking at things, but typically they'd say the truth, and they'd say weapon skill 11, or whatever. And if it was higher, they'd have to show you. That's kind of, you know, gets rid of the trust thing. But if their weapon skill actually beat the weapon skill or other attribute that you called out, then they would win your card. And of course, you see where this is going. Whoever had no cards at the end, you know, or lost their cards, would lose the game. Some people played for keeps as well. Very nail-biting stuff. Kind of reminds me of Pogs as well, and Keenies and Tazos and all those kind of things. But anyway, let's have a look at these cards before I go through a full tutorial of how to play the game. So we've got Boglob, the Orc War Chief. His toughness is pretty high, toughness 12 there, and his strength is quite high. We've got Golrath Stern, a Marine Lieutenant, or Lieutenant, if you so wish. Weapon skill's pretty high on that one. We've got an Eldar Clan Lord, Lanriel Nightland. Weapon skill 14, speed is fast at 13, intelligence is high, strength isn't that, you know, high. But yeah, these just really appreciate the, you know, the lovely painting that these miniatures have on the cards. You have Lipnut the Vile, an Orc Champion. You've got a Legion of the Damned. You've got a Space Marine. Space Marine. You've got a Squat Commander. Wow. Squat Champion. An Astropath. Marine Power Fist. It's just Marine Power Fist. Nice strength of 12 there. Still not as strong as an Orc, though. You've got an Imperial Inquisitor. You've got the Marine Captain. Marine Sergeant. Marine Trooper. Eldar Chainsword, Marine Missile Launcher. So I guess they're giving you sort of the names of the weapons or the, you know, unit, and then the actual name of the creature itself or person itself. Squat Commander, Squat Trooper, Marine Trooper, Imperial Guard Trooper. Imperial Guard were even smaller back then. Renegade Warlord, Marine Medic, Marine Trooper, so that's the Mark 6 there, very small legs. Orc Missile Launcher, Squat Sergeant, Orc Plasma Gun, I know right, Marine Lieutenant, Squat Champion, Marine Champion, another Marine Champion, Squat Commander, Marine Champion, Marine Chaplain, reading his little book there, and an Eldar Trooper. So that's the Space War. Okay, they're quite similar though in the stats. Did you notice? Like there's some 10s, there's some 13s. So yeah, those games I would say dragged on a bit because there weren't many attributes that were massively different to others. So that's Space War, or Warhammer 40,000 I guess. Then we've got Chaos. Now this is an interesting one. This is back when Games Workshop could kind of paint what they like, make what they like. Right, so some of these stats are, there's a bit of a larger variation here. So you've got a Champion of Slaanesh, Mutant Spawn of Chaos. For some reason that card's a bit bent. Beastman of Slaanesh, Mutant Spawn of Chaos. Hopefully you can see these. A Traitor Legionnaire, a Champion of Slaanesh, Mutant Champion, Beastman of Khorne, Champion of Khorne, there you go, Gore Drinker, look at that face there, wow. Mutant Thug, Chaos Beastman, Champion of Chaos, Champion of Slaanesh, Warrior of Khorne, Mutant Beastman, Champion of Khorne, that's the one on the pack. Traitor Legionnaire, that looks quite funky. Fiend of Slaanesh. Don't know what's going on there with the green, but oh, we had another one hiding. Warrior of Slaanesh. Traitor Legionnaire. These look so cool. Beastman of Slaanesh. Bloodletter. Look at that Bloodletter. Mutant Thug. It's like Jason, doesn't it? Chaos Beastman, not much has changed there. Champion of Chaos with some kind of long arquebus rifle. Traitor Legionnaire, Champion of Chaos. Wow, it's a bit of H.R. Geiger going on there. Traitor Legionnaire, again, it's very odd. Chaos Beastman with just like a spear. Champion of Slaanesh. Warrior of Chaos. Demonette of Slaanesh. Mutant Thug. Wizard of Chaos. With the little Let's Rock sign. Nice. And Champion of Slaanesh. So again, more of a variation, I would say. There's a few units there that have 7s, but also there's a few that have like 12s and 13s and things. So a bit more of a variation in stats. Goblinoids. You're suffering from a case of Goblinoids. So let's have a look at these. I don't know if these were my least favourite. Probably they were. I now absolutely love goblins and gits and orcs and things. So this is a Goblin Warrior, Orc Champion, Orc Chieftain, a Snotling Brave. It's like in a bucket. It's like in a barrel. Goblin Warrior, Orc Archer, Orc Goblin Champion. Hope I'm not going too fast for everyone. Orc Warrior. Look at the shield. Ah, fantastic. Goblin Wolf Rider. Goblin Champion. Snotling Champion. Fully armoured up there. Savage Orc Warrior. My shield. Orc Warlord. Orc Champion. Orc Champion. Orc Warrior. Good shield. Orc Warlord. Look at that. Orc Champion. Orc Champion. Snotling Champion. Goblin Champion. Orc Warrior. Goblin Warrior. Savage Orc Champion. Goblin Musician. Goblin Wolf Rider. Goblin Chieftain. Orc Musician. Orc Tribal Chief. Orc Warrior. Orc Warrior. Goblin Fanatic. There you go, there's a Fanatic for you. And a Shaman. Orc Warrior. And Orc Warrior. So plenty of Orc Warriors, Goblin Warriors. The stat lines for these are very, very low. I rarely use these at all in games, I think. They're mainly 6s and 7s for stats. So a couple of 8s with the chieftains and things, but yeah, probably my least favourite kits, and might have been the reason why I didn't pick up the others. I don't know. I didn't know what I was getting myself into back then. I'd never heard of Games Workshop or Citadel or, you know, anything like that until, you know, a number of years later, many years later actually. So yeah, that's those. So yeah, it's important to note that I was not collecting Warhammer, or didn't even know what Warhammer was when I came about these cards. This case is not broken too. Now we come to my favourite pack, Monsters, and I think these Monsters pack would be my most favourite, even if I had the other two packs. So Monsters, look at that. Oh, it's all crumpled, well used. This pack is well used. I'm surprised that it's in such good condition, considering. So these had the largest sort of, you know, stats and things out of all these packs. So we've got a Forest Guardian. So this is a Zote. I know this is a Zote. So an Age of Sigmar type Zote version. He's Swole though, isn't he? Swole. Skaven Mutant, a Rat Ogre, a Marsh Troll, so still got Troggoths at the moment, an Ogre, yeah, okay, Ogre Shaman, very strange that one, a Minotaur. I think we can agree them sort of Minotaurs look a bit better these days, don't they? Another Minotaur, an Amble. Yeah, I bet you didn't think that you'd see a Zote and an Amble in this card sort of review. Ogre Champion, something out of Dark Souls. A Warrior Troll. Minotaur Lord. Manticore. Wow, look at that. Strength 14, toughness 14 is very good. An Ogre Mercenary. A Minotaur Lord. Another thing that's worth pointing out, these things at the bottom, the more of those it's got, kind of like pretty decent. A Griffin. Serpentine Dragon, or Serpentine Dragon. Now look at that toughness. Toughness 15 there. I mean, the dragons were very, very good in this set. The dragons were good in sort of Super Top Trumps. I'm sure I've got my Super Top Trumps anyway. If anybody would like me to go through my Marvel and, you know, Dragon Super Top Trumps, please do put your comments below and I'll happily do that. You've got a Minotaur Champion. Six-headed Hydra. A Chimera, look at that, toughness 14. Oof. It's very nice, that Chimera. A Servant of Tzeentch, a pink horror. A Horned Dragon, that's pretty good. And you've got a Lava Dragon. Wow. Intelligence isn't the best, but the strength of 14. You've got a Red Dragon. Great Fire Dragon, look at that, 3 15s there. Weapon skill, strength and toughness, all 15. Plague Bearer, Servant of Nurgle. Got a Hill Troll, quite strong and tough. You've got Scrag the Slaughterer, an Ogre Champion. Got another Ogre Champion. Got the Dragon Ogre. You've just got an Ogre. Now you've got a Balgorg, looks very much like a Bloodthirster, but it's a Balgorg, toughness 15 there, and weapon skill 15. Now here we go, you've got a Lord of Change, Servant of Tzeentch. There's the Bloodthirster right there, look at that, absolutely brilliant. 3 15s there, ooh, weapon skill, strength and toughness. Keeper of Secrets, again, weapon skill, strength and toughness, all 15. And then you've got a Great Unclean One, Servant of Nurgle. Only 2 15s there, but yeah. And that's it. And that is probably one of the reasons why monsters were my favourite, because you had the, you know, the Chaos Gods, really. Strange that they're in monsters and not like Chaos, but there we go. There we go. That is the end of my little review of 4 packs of Citadel Combat Cards that I have recently found. As I say, I have other legacy kind of review videos that I'd like to release. If there's anything in particular that you've heard about and you'd like me to make a video on, please do, as always, put your requests in the comments below. What do you guys think of all these cards? Pretty fun looking back at you know, Games Workshop and Citadel miniatures from 30 years ago. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.